Hi there and welcome to this tutorial of how to install an inner gear cable on your mountain bike. So moving straight on to the tools that you're going to need. You're going to need some gear cable cutters, some lube, a 5mm Allen key, a Phillips screwdriver and your gear cable and end cap. So going to the handlebar end, shift into the smallest cog of the cassette at the back, taking all of the tension out of the cable. You then want to clip the excess cabling behind the Allen key bolts and then undo the Allen key bolt as shown in the video here. So moving up to the handlebar end now, you've undone that. You want to undo this screw with the Phillips screwdriver. This is basically just to keep water out of the mechanism. And allows you access to the end of the gear cable. So this might take a little bit of fiddling around, but you're basically just wanting to get the cable out of the mechanism here. I find twisting it does help, just to release it out of that hole. After this, pull all of the cable out through the shifter. So then you're going to want to fully screw in this barrel adjuster here completely clockwise, and then I tend to lever it back a couple turns anti-clockwise. This just allows sort of sufficient adjustment after you've fitted the cable. So this is where the lube comes in. You basically want to put a couple drops in the end here, and I find it just helps make shifting a little bit smoother there. So then you want to thread the new cable through the mechanism, making sure you're in the smallest cog. It should pop out the end, and then it's just a case of threading it into the outer gear cabling here until you see it pop out the other end, the rear mech end, and then it's just a case of pulling this tight and making sure that it slots in nicely. So this is just a preliminary sort of tighten up. You're going to want to sort of hold the cable in one hand and then tighten up the 5mm Allen key bolt. It doesn't matter if there's not too much tension on it at this stage, because we're basically just going to stretch the cable by pressing the shifter there but not moving the chain. So this is basically just stretching the cable. I tend to do that a couple times just to take any slack out of the cable, and then you're going to want to pull the cable nice and tight and tighten it up again. This basically just saves you doing it after a couple rides, so stretching it a bit. Then you're going to want to snip the cable. I normally do it just over an inch from the bolt there, and then shift into the biggest cog on the back, so the lowest gear. This just makes it easier for you to put the end cap on because all the mechanism is sort of out of the way there. And then just clamp it down with the cable tool there, sort of inside the handle there. And then shifting into the smallest cog again. This is where we're going to check the tension is right, so we got crisp shifting. So just individually, one shift at a time. You can see it's going up there fairly smooth. It's not skipping, wanting to go into another. So this indicates that there's enough tension in the cable. But on the way down, you can see just here it's struggling to get into the smallest cog there. So we need to take a little bit of tension out, which means turning the barrel adjuster a quarter of a turn clockwise, and then try again. This is purely just trial and error here, and we can see each click is a little bit smoother. It was not getting stuck in the middle now, so we're happy. And if you did find that the shifting going up the cassette was slow, you'd want to turn the barrel adjuster anti-clockwise. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment in the section below, and don't forget to subscribe.